Ladies and gentlemen, Manchester United have come out at home at Old Trafford against Istanbul and delivered some sweet payback for our previous loss to them. However, was this a game that we could ultimately be proud of? The scoreline might suggest so, but maybe the style of play in the two halves that we did play might beg to differ. What's up, everybody? It's the Aidan Sports Show, and welcome back to another video. Today, we've got a Manchester United versus Istanbul match reaction. 4-1 was the scoreline, and it was a good scoreline to receive after a very, very boring game against West Brom. 4-1 is far from boring. 4-1 was extremely entertaining, and ultimately you could say Manchester United really did deserve the victory, deserved the satisfaction of getting their revenge and getting one step closer to Champions League qualification. Now, with this victory, another 3 points in the bag for Manchester United. We turn our heads in the Champions League. In terms of the Champions League, we turn our heads to PSG. 1 point will end up qualifying us for Manchester United most likely, and PSG and Leipzig will have to battle it out for second place and Europa League. Istanbul is also still a sleeper in this qualification period as well. They are, I think, tied with Leipzig at the moment. And at the moment, if Istanbul can beat Leipzig, then maybe down the line, it could be Leipzig that misses out entirely. But we have to wait and see. We are still not out of the woods just yet, but this victory makes it just a little bit easier for us. If we lost this game, we would have been one of the favourites to drop out. But the fact of the matter is, we won this game. We needed to win this game, and we did win this game. But was it as easy as you would have thought? With a 4-1 scoreline, you think this game is easy, done and dusted. It won't get any worse than this. But I'm sorry to say, the game of two halves. It was a game of two halves. And this ultimately is what defines Manchester United for the entire season. These two halves. The first half was spectacular, was phenomenal. They could not have a sniff. We ended up getting 3 goals off the bounce just like that. It was quick, it was easy. We had a goal disallowed as well. Manchester United were on fire, and Istanbul froze. They froze and they quivered, and they realized that we were a much better team than them. But in the second half, we gave them belief. We dropped off. We became a lesser team. And I'm not blaming the substitutions. I know many people will say because Dan James came on, because Mason Greenwood came on, Twanzebe came on, because we changed the entire team. That's why we dropped off. No. We dropped off because that is the type of team that we are. You could have put our starting lineup once again back in there. We would have still dropped off. We dropped off late first half. That's the fact of the matter. We dropped in the late first half. No excuses. No blaming the substitutes. Nothing like that. Because this is the type of team that we are. We are too inconsistent as a team to have good games all around. A good 90 minutes all around. And when we do, we end up flopping the next game. So this game is a positive. It will always be a positive. 4-1 is always a game where you look at and you're smiling, you're happy. You've seen Manchester United do what they're supposed to do. They won the game. But now, usually when we win games like this, we always are so positive, saying we're going to go into the next game and dominate. Well, the next game is going to be extremely telling. If we win that game, then we are on a good run of form. If we win that game. Southampton is a very big game. There are a bit of concerns as well. Victor Lindelof got substituted off at half-time. Not really sure what the issue is with him, but we cannot afford to lose players to injury now. And hopefully he will get back better than ever. Also, Aidan Wan-Bissaka seemed to have had a knock, got substituted for Brandon Williams, and went to the locker rooms instead of sitting on the bench, obviously trying to get something checked out. Hopefully it's not a serious thing for Aidan Wan-Bissaka either. Those are 2 players that we need to look for. In the Champions League, I don't think Axel Twanzebe is allowed to play the next game. I think he got yellow carded. He had a yellow card in his previous one, so I think he's not eligible to play against PSG. I might be wrong on that, so don't quote me on that, but that is something that I think is going to happen. Yeah, look, it's just it's a good win. It is a good win, but again, we need to be consistent now. We need to be consistent. We need to have a consistent run of both halves. If we played the first half the way we played the second half, we would have lost the game. It's as simple as that. That first half was amazing, probably by far the best I've seen. And the second half, we just dropped off so badly. Even David De Gea was screaming, "Wake up" to these players. At the end of the day, we still have a lot of work to do. And just because the scoreline reflects very well on us and we scored in the second half, doesn't mean that this team, by any stretch of the means, is just where it needs to be. We still have a lot to improve on. But enough, let's talk about the goals. First goal, beautiful goal. Definitely goal of the night. It was from a corner. I think Alex Telles took the corner. It was headed away, went to Bruno outside the box, just at the edge of the box. Beautiful volley, top of the roof, 1-0. Very easy set piece, if I do say so. No one was marking Bruno Fernandes, and the quality that he has sees it right through into the goals with no chance of saving it. So the goal, 1-0. For Manchester United. The second goal was very, very fortunate, very lucky. Again, it was a cross delivered. I don't know who gave the cross. I would assume it was Alex Telles once again. The keeper was going to grab it. Probably was thinking, where am I going to play it to? Wasn't thinking about the ball, was thinking about the next play. Dropped the ball. Bruno Fernandes, easy tap in. 2 goals for Bruno Fernandes. Third goal, penalty caused by Rashford. And Rashford took the penalty and he scored. Bruno misses out on his hat-trick. But again, he loves to serve his strikers. So Rashford's a striker. He got his goal. Well-deserved goal from Marcus Rashford. Also had a goal disallowed a few minutes before that. So in the end, I think it was a well-deserved goal. Fourth goal came at the, against the fortune of the game. It was a counter-attack created by Donny van de Beek, might I add. It was from Matic to Cavani. Cavani played it to Donny van de Beek, and Donny van de Beek freed Mason Greenwood, allowing Mason Greenwood to pass it to Dan James, and Dan James, with a very cool, calm, collected finish, sees off the game at 4-1. And again, it was against the style of play. It was, because they were absolutely dominating us at that point. We tried to defend what we had. We conceded a goal as well, a free kick. At the end of the day, I think the wall could have done a lot better there. No, didn't really jump at all. And David De Gea, unfortunately, was caught out pretty much. I don't think that was David De Gea's fault entirely. At the end of the day, he did save it, but it was over the line. So he got there a bit late. But the wall should have done a lot better. And in the end, it's just a very good free kick. Some free kicks are just unsavable. That free kick was definitely savable, don't get me wrong. But it was definitely... I guess it was just a miscommunication between the wall and David De Gea, and that's what led to the goal for them, and that's what led to their belief. Anyway, now moving on to the player ratings. With David De Gea, I am still going to give him a 6. He didn't have that much to do at all. There was a shot that hit the crossbar that he nearly got caught out with again, but the fact of the matter is that free kick is not really his fault at all. And the shot that was taken was very far out, and that is more of the defense's fault. At the end of the day, the clean sheet is very, very unfortunate he didn't get one today. But the fact of the matter is, I'm sure he and a lot of our players will take confidence in the way that they performed in the first half. And defensively in the second half, we weren't too bad. But we need to look beyond David De Gea now, because he's going to be consistently good, it looks like. I have complete faith in David De Gea. He hasn't given me a reason not to this season. So it's time to look at the players in front of him now and the reasons why we conceded a goal and the reasons why we've been poor all season. It's not David De Gea. It's time to look at these players on the outfield. Let's go to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I'm giving Aaron Wan-Bissaka an average 6 as well. Look, at the end of the day, with Aidan Wan-Bissaka, defensively he was good. Offensively was not really that great. He kept the ball well today. Aidan Wan-Bissaka caught himself out of trouble a bit. But I think with Aidan Wan-Bissaka, this is what I expected, to be honest. I didn't expect the best of the best because I didn't think they were going to attack his side. And I didn't expect the worst because the fact of the matter, this is an important game and Aidan Wan-Bissaka needed to show up. I expected that to happen with Aidan Wan-Bissaka. He needs to show up. He did show up for the most part. I'm giving him a 6 out of 10. Victor Lindelof. Now, before Victor Lindelof got substituted off, I actually thought he was having a good game. But he only played a half, so I can only give him a 6 out of 10 because I'm not going to give him any higher than that for one half. Hopefully he gets better soon. At the end of the day, he might be not the centre-back answer, but I would hate to see Victor Lindelof go out on an injury. because we need all the players we can for this season. We cannot lose players out to injury. We have Jones injured still. I'm pretty sure Rojo just came back, and I don't trust Rojo or Jones to play, so we need Victor Lindelof to be healthy. And that's all I can say. I hope it's nothing serious. That's all I can say. Harry Maguire was very shaky today. Very, very shaky. Look, we only conceded one goal, and the one goal wasn't his fault. So I have to give him a 6. I don't think he was terrible. I didn't think he had that much to do, especially in the first half. Second half, he had a lot to do. And we were shaky. I think that's the only thing I can say. We were shaky. And Twanzebe didn't help the matters when he came on as well. We looked shaky with Twanzebe in there. But I have to give him a 6. I don't think he was terrible. I don't think he was great. I think he was pretty average, and that's why a 6 out of 10 was given. Alex Telles. Now, I'm going to give Alex Telles a lot of praise today because there was 2 goals that came from his creativeness. Now, he didn't necessarily get the assist for any of them. Maybe he got the assist for the second goal, because I'm not sure if he was the one that crossed it. But he did a lot better than his West Brom debut in the Premier League. He did a lot better. He gave a lot of the crosses into the box to create some chances. The corner was him that took it, that led to Bruno's goal. Didn't get an assist for that one probably, but he probably deserves it. And yeah, he was great attacking wise. Defensively, look, I think Alex Telles got out of position a lot defensively today, which allowed a few shots to be taken on his side. But nonetheless, you can't fault every single defensive liability. I don't think Alex Telles is the best defensive left back in the world. I don't think anybody will be claiming him as that. But for the most part, he did his job in the defense as well. So I'm going to give him a 7 because I think he deserves a 7. Again, this is his 3rd game for Manchester United, and he looks like he should be the starting left back right now, especially on the attacking side. Beautiful crosses delivered in. We need to see more of that from Manchester United on both attacking fullbacks. And we saw some of that from Brandon Williams today, which I will have to talk about later if I do remember. Going into the CDMs. Now, I'm very happy to see these 2 play together, but was it the answer today? First off, we'll start with Fred. Fred had a very, very, very poor game in terms of passing. Turnovers, especially. A lot of balls that he just tried to whip in across, and it always deflected to an Istanbul player. He wasn't the best with passing today. But with Fred, he's exactly what I expected him to be honest. He is a tenacious player. He wins the ball back, goes for the tackles. He does very, very well in that area. Now, passing was a key weakness from him today. I'm not going to come out here and say that he did what I expected him to do, but he was a player that, in my opinion, that did okay. I'm going to give him a 6. I'm not giving him a 7 because at the end of the day, some of those turnovers were very, very poor turnovers to give, and could have led to opportunities. And there was more than one. There was more than 2. There were a lot of passes like that from Fred where it was just intercepted and it was just really poor passes, bad decision making. But ultimately, Fred is still a player where look how many players we played next to him and he has yet to be dropped. And that's a key issue. That's not a key issue. It's a key thing here. We played Paul Pogba next to Fred. We played Donny van de Beek next to Fred. We played Scott McTominay next to Fred. We played Nemanja Matic next to Fred. The fact of the matter is, Fred is the most consistent part of this team. He cannot be dropped. Even in a game like this, he could not be dropped. He shouldn't be dropped next game. He is the key in the midfield right now for Manchester United. I truly believe that. And we played every single player next to him. So something tells me that this management sees that in him as well. So hopefully he can continue that. I am giving him a 6. I don't think it was his greatest game out there. But again, the job that he does it very, very well. Moving on to Donny van de Beek. Now, Donny van de Beek was the very key part of the 4th goal. But was Donny van de Beek the answer today in the CDM position? I said to one of my friends while watching this game, I'd like to see these 2 play more together. But the way that this game was open for a lot of Istanbul kind of makes me worried that if we play these 2 together, because they're both not natural CDMs, we'll be caught out. And that's just the way that I felt throughout the game. I think Donny van de Beek deserves more opportunities to play. But again, I feel like the diamond is where Donny van de Beek will get his opportunities. If he's a CDM with Fred, we have 2 unnatural CDMs playing in that position. And that game was very open for Istanbul in the first half and in the second half. So I don't really know. I think I'm going to give Donny van de Beek a 6 as well. very, very good performance in terms of the creativeness for Donny van de Beek. There were a few passes that were a bit wayward, and he did end up not reading the play sometimes. He still looked like a new signing. He didn't look like he was well adapted to this team, but you have to put the blame on Ollie for that because he doesn't give him enough game time to get used to playing with these players. And also, he's put him in a very unnatural position probably as well. I mean, a CDM... I expect Donny van de Beek can play there, and he could play there today. I'm not saying that he had a terrible game. I'm just saying that I think both of Fred and Van de Beek together, you're not playing two natural CDMs, and we could end up with a better team, maybe end up conceding a few more goals than what we did. We wait and see. I'd love to see them continue to play together, maybe get that chemistry, and we wait and see what the future lies for them. But that's just the way that I felt this game. I could be very, very wrong, but that's just how I felt watching this game and reacting to this game. Next up, we've got Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes, obviously the man of the match today. What more do you expect? 2 goals today. Look, the second goal was fortunate, but the first goal was absolutely world-class. Bruno's getting an 8 out of 10 from me. I hope and I wished that he would have took the penalty, but I think Rashford probably deserved that goal, to be fair. Had an opportunity that was disallowed, and he made the penalty. So I understand Bruno gave up his hat-trick for Marcus Rashford. It's a very, very good team move to do. It's not all about the hat-tricks. At the end of the day, Rashford was struggling. Rashford was struggling throughout this period. Didn't have many goals or assists for quite some time. Very limited. We expected a little bit more from Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial, to be fair, this season. So giving him a penalty, allowing him to get on the score sheet, build up the confidence. He made the penalty at the end of the day. He had a goal disallowed. Bruno Fernandes is a very selfless player. I'm giving an 8 out of 10 for Bruno Fernandes, and he is my man of the match today. Spectacular. Everyone in the front end did a very, very good job for Manchester United. At the front end did the business, and the back end struggled a little bit, but we got the job done from the front, from the forwards, and they had a very good game today. Marcus Rashford, going on to Marcus Rashford, the right winger today, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Now again, wayward passes, a few crosses that didn't hit the mark, but if we're going to be judging Bruno for the amount of creativity that he brings, with the turnovers that he brings, you have to grade Marcus Rashford the same. He did have a lot of turnovers. There was one specific play where he could have easily given it to Bruno Fernandes and had a shot on, or even had a shot on goal, but he tried to give it to Cavani, and when it was a 4-on-2 fast break, and Cavani was definitely the wrong option to give it to, but he gave it to him, and it didn't work out. And those are the things that frustrate you with Marcus Rashford, to make the right play when it comes to the final product. You need to make the right play. He doesn't do that enough. But at the end of the day, with opportunities, some of them will not work. And we see that with Bruno all the time. Some opportunities just don't work out. So I'm giving Marcus Rashford the 7 because of the opportunities that did work out. That goal that was offside was this close to being a goal. He would have had 2 goals. The penalty, look, depending on the angle you watch it in, that could either be a very good shoulder-to-shoulder tackle or he got hit from the back. So ultimately, that's the reason why I don't think the penalty was overturned, because it was very undecisive. But it looked like a penalty depending on the angle that you watched it from. So it didn't get overturned. We scored the goal. In my opinion, it's a penalty, but I know people are going to say it's not a penalty. It was shoulder to shoulder. He hit him from the back as well. It's as simple as that. Anthony Martial looked very lively today. I'm not going to lie to you, but not many opportunities created on goal for him today. He played on the left for the most part. Look, on the left, he does look like a threat, as he does up front. He looks like a threat when it comes to the goal-scoring opportunities. However, in saying that, he didn't create that many opportunities. He didn't really have, I don't think he had a shot on goal today. But he does a lot of the other things. He won a lot of free kicks today. He ended up creating a lot of plays for our players. He did very good beating his opposition from the left. Again, he's a spectacular dribbler. He does look lively on the left, and maybe Manchester United are thinking about playing him there for the most part. I hope Anthony Martial is going to be fine with that, because at the end of the day, Cavani is a player that we should be considering starting a lot more often, because he is a goal threat. And sometimes we need goal threats. We need an in-the-box presence. We need someone that can win the header. In some games, Cavani will do very well for us. So it's all about the diversity, it's all about the interchangeability, and it's all about being able to play multiple positions. That's how football is heading in that direction. You can play multiple positions throughout the attack, through the midfield as well. So hopefully Martial will be fine with that. And Edinson Cavani, I'm going to give Edinson Cavani, first of all, I'm going to give Martial a 6. I'm giving Edinson Cavani a 6 as well. Now, Edinson Cavani looked lively today. His pressing from the front was world class. And the fact that he's 33 and he's pressing more than Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial today, it's a big shame on them, because even though we played well today, the fact that he was pressing so hard compared to those two players is a poor excuse for Martial and Rashford. Now, they did very well. I'm not saying that Rashford and Martial didn't do well at all, but I'm saying that we need that type of pressure. We need that type of press, the hard press, not just, oh, I have to do it, so I'm going to jog my way there. I want a full sprint. I want to press. That's what pressing is. When a team can press together, they are going to be a team that wins the game. When you're able to press as a cohesive unit and not just one man sprinting. So in that area, Cavani was exceptional. Cavani did well in bringing players into the game. Again, was a crucial part of the fourth goal. But ultimately, he didn't do enough for me to say that he had a very good game today. He looked lively. He looked like he could have scored. I think he was desperate to score. But he didn't do enough for me to say that he deserves a 7 or an 8 out of 10. So I'm giving him a 6 with Martial. Rashford was the standout attacker for me today. Despite his wayward decision-making, he created the most opportunities. He looked the most lively, and he looked the most likely to score once again. Going on to the bench, we've got Brandon Williams came on. 6 out of 10 for Brandon Williams. Again, he is the player on the right in the first few minutes, cross into the box. That is a good sign. That is a good sign, because that's not what you saw from Brandon Williams on the left. On the left, Brandon Williams can have a shot on goal because he's right-footed and he can definitely cut it back. But on the right back position, he delivered a very good cross, and I want to see more out of Brandon Williams. Now, he could be going on loan, and if he does, that's unfortunate. Because I think he still has a place at Manchester United, and with every single player getting injured for Liverpool, there could be a very similar situation with us where we could get some players injured. I want to see Brandon Williams stay here, play as the backup right back, but he might not be able to, and that's fine. I like that the first few minutes we saw a cross out of him, and that's what we need to keep on seeing from that right back position. Nemanja Matic came on. Nemanja Matic was fine. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10 as well. Didn't have that much time to do anything really. Axel Tuanzebe came on, and again, that second half we were defensively shaky. I'm not putting that on Axel Tuanzebe or Harry Maguire. I think as a team we just looked shaky, and David De Gea was screaming at our players to wake up. And yeah, so I think Axel Tuanzebe is a 6 out of 10 as well. Moving on to the attack, Mason Greenwood came on. I thought Mason Greenwood, he got an assist at the end of the day. Mason Greenwood looked extremely good out there. I'm not going to lie to you. So I think out of all the substitutes that came on, Mason Greenwood was the standout. I am going to give him a 7. It is generous, but that's what I'm going to give him. That's what I feel like he deserves. He looked very lively. He had made a fantastic play to get Daniel James in, who also scored a goal, Daniel James. And he was a key part of that. Daniel James, I am going to give a 6 because outside of the goal, he did nothing. And it was the goal was put to him on a plate, to be fair. And I think that's all the substitutions that we need to talk about for Manchester United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, honestly, I actually really enjoyed the team that he selected, except for maybe I was hoping Dean Henderson would get a play today. Obviously, Axel Tuanzebe probably should have played at the very beginning. To Victor Lindelof, he did come off of an injury from international break, and we played him in 2 games, and now it looks like we might not see him. I'm not sure what that injury might entail for Victor Lindelof. And probably the fact that he played Donny van de Beek today was a big plus for me. Played Donny van de Beek and Bruno was a big plus for me. Fred played, big plus for me. To see Rashford, Cavani and Martial is a big plus as well. I'm going to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a 7. I think that's where I lie with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And that's going to be the end of this Manchester United versus Istanbul match reaction. Now, coming up for Manchester United is Southampton in the Premier League. I think they sit 5th in the Premier League. Definitely a very good team to watch out for, and they could end up putting a few goals past us. But if we can win that game, it's all about the next game for Manchester United. It's good that we got the win tonight, but we need to always be focusing on the next one and hoping and delivering the same types of performances to improve every single game. I don't want to see a step back like we did when we versed Leipzig then lost to Arsenal, or when we lost to Istanbul and beat Everton. I don't want to see a step back after a step forward. We took a step forward today. We only need one more point to qualify in the Champions League. We need to take the next step in the Premier League now. We cannot take another step back. The win, this is one of the most important games that we're going to play. At Southampton, you might think is not the most important game to play, but in terms of where we are in the league and where Southampton are and where we could climb to if we win, this is a must-win game, a very important game on our hands, and I hope that it ends up with a victory. A loss here is unacceptable, and a loss here will be very harshly critiqued from Manchester United fans like myself. So let's see where we go with that. Hopefully we improve, hopefully we win, and that's all that matters at the moment. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Have a wonderful day, Manchester United fans. I'll see you in another Manchester United video versus the Southampton match prediction. Stay tuned for it. Take care and